Guys, I got a story to share. All right, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this particular live stream or live show. Damn, it ain't even live, man. This video playback. All right. What is good? What is good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know who I is, the good doc, Dr. Mike, back again, once again, with another classic. Probably, if you haven't heard about my channel, something that you may have find hard to believe. Classic video for that ass today. Sincerely hope everybody is blessed, having a good one. The good doc is having an awesome day. You guys know the rules. Get your likes up, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Everything you should need to know about me should be listed in the links in the description area below. Okay? So, big shout out to my boy, Black American Expat. Of course, my boy, Markel STV. BK, we were on a live stream on Jay's channel the other day, and it really inspired this particular video. More specifically, a remark that was made by Markel TV. He was talking about the realness behind life in these foreign countries wherein women are living amongst destitute times, or times when all they know is, I need to survive. However it gets done, I'm going to do it. I'm going to survive by any means necessary. And he said something interesting which really inspired this particular story. I wanted to share with you guys a story that somebody shared with me about this one time that a Filipina's husband actually dropped her off at his Airbnb. So, fucks with me on this one real quick. So, my man sends me an email. He's like, Doc, I have a story to share with you. And I just, coming from the U.S., I never thought in a million years that I would see this. So he was telling me how he was conversating with this Filipina, of course, on these online dating sites. You all know how that begins. He had just gotten into the country, just wanted to chat up a few women, meet up with them and things like that. So apparently he hit it off with one particular young lady that was very avid and interested to come to his particular Airbnb. She's like, yo, I think you're so cute, and, I want to meet you, I want to see you, blah, blah, blah. If you want, I can come over to your place. Now, being naive about the idea and coming from the U.S., in the U.S., when you meet somebody for the first time, you don't necessarily bring them back to your place immediately, right? At least, you like to get to know the person before you do that, but he didn't really put into his mind that he wanted to bring a girl straight over. So what he did is he was like, yo, we can meet at the mall first, whatever. Apparently he had a great conversation with this young lady. And the next time she asked, she's like, yo, if you want me to come over, I can come over. And at this particular time, on the second time that they met, he said, okay, you can come over. You can just come over and hang out with me and whatever. So the way that his particular apartment was set up, his apartment was facing the parking lot, right? So basically, how this went down was he told the guard of the building, I'm expecting company, so if somebody comes looking for me by this name, it is okay, she can come up, right? That's what he said to the security guard downstairs, so that there's no issues with her being able to come see him. So the way his apartment was facing, it was facing the parking lot, so he could see her whenever she pulled up. So, he was sitting by the window because, he had it open just so that he could keep his eyes peeled. Definitely when somebody's coming over, you want to make sure that when they come through, there's no problems or issues with her being able to come in or anything. You just want to make sure you're ready. And, you don't really want to go downstairs, but if you have to, you will. So he was watching and he noticed that she was being transported by motorbike and somebody dropped her off. Now, here's where things get interesting, because when she got dropped off, she gave the driver of the bike a kiss on the cheek. Now, he's thinking, what the hell is this all about? But yet and still, he didn't let it ruin his vibe simply because he knew what was to come for himself, right? So in his mind, he was thinking maybe that's her uncle, a father, or something like that. The guy never took his helmet off too much, but he lifted up the visor so that he could get the kiss on the cheek. So he never really got to see the full face of the guy. So he saw her kiss the driver, come upstairs. You know, she checked in, came upstairs. So he was hesitant to ask her who that was. Very hesitant. Because he didn't know what answer he was going to get. I kind of felt like he expected an uncle, a brother, a cousin, father, or whatever. So he didn't really ask it. He didn't really, it really didn't resonate with him. So apparently she comes upstairs. They're hanging out. Vibe is good. Laughing, smiling. Conversation goes well. Leads into other things that we do not need to discuss, okay? You guys can use your imagination for that. So just before she's about to leave, all right? Just before she's about to leave, he asked, because he was thinking the entire time, he told me this, he was thinking of a good way to incorporate it into the conversation or to ask who that was, trying to find the best way to do it, and he came up with the perfect idea. So as she was leaving, getting ready, he was like, do you have money to go home? Who's going to pick you up or whatever? How are you going to get home? That's basically what he asked. And she was kind of hesitant. She was like, I'm okay. I'll find my way home. Thank you for helping me out, whatever, with my fare to get home, whatever. I'll be okay. But she tried not to answer. And then so he ended up in a roundabout way asking her, I saw you get dropped off. He said, is that the same person that's going to pick you up? And so she hesitated. She paused a bit and she was like, yeah, that's the same person going to pick me up. And he just asked. I mean, I guess it really meant something to him to ask. I mean, he was like, who was that? I was just curious. And she was like, literally, she didn't lie to him at all. She said, that was my husband that dropped me off. And so he had zero idea what to think about the situation. Because imagine, you've just hooked up with this girl. He ain't in love with her or anything. It was just a young lady that was good company for him at the time. So it wasn't as if he was falling in love or anything, good conversation. He was there for a short period of time. So, he just wanted to be able to, experience, time there. Okay. I'm not going to lie that some guys do come there for that. So let's not sugarcoat that shit and act like it doesn't happen. But in that particular situation, that's exactly what it was. So he wasn't like shocked in the sense that, oh, how dare you have a husband and hook up with me? He was more shocked at the fact that she was honest about the idea that it was her husband that dropped her off. And so he asked her, he was like, yo, your husband knows who you're coming to see here? That's what he asked. He was like, does he know that you're coming to see me? And she was like, yeah, she knows that I'm coming to see, a friend or something like that. She didn't tell him who it was, of course. But, does he know that it's a male friend? And she was like, yeah, he knows exactly what this is. But she was like, don't worry. You don't have to worry about it. It's okay. And she said something that really set the bar from that particular moment forward. She was like, it's okay. It's okay. My husband understands. And right then and there, it set the foundation for what we need to understand in reference to what life is like in a country like the Philippines and what life is like in a country that is semi-considered third world, wherein you do have poverty levels that are extremely high and you do have places where people don't earn livable wages or incomes. Filipinas can be married, have full-on relationships, have kids, and if the situation requires for her to step her game up and do what she has to do to potentially earn a livable income, they're going to do it, and the husband's going to be okay with it. You have husbands that will drop their girls off at KTV bars or dance bars and places like that where women can be bar fined. You'll have guys who will drop their significant others off at these places knowing exactly what could potentially happen. At the end of the day, like we discussed in the live stream, that guy has got his own line of work. He's got his own business. He's doing what he needs to do. She's doing what she has to do. They come together and they make it work. Because at the end of the day, when you can't have a 9-to-5 job, be employed and make a livable wage, you have to do what you have to do by any means necessary. And that's pretty much the lifestyle with this particular part of the world. I want you to understand, some of these women are married. Some of these women are in full-on relationships. And you have to understand that because they are in their own relationship, whatever you have with her, strictly business, nothing personal. Understand that, strictly business, nothing personal. Don't take it to heart. A lot of guys may take it to heart, so I want to make sure I get this video out. You know, my boy Markel, he explained it in the most beautiful fashion ever, and I enjoyed hearing it, and it really did inspire me to share this particular story that came from my friend. Although it happened many years ago, it was something that resonated, you know, when I heard my man speaking his truth about what life was like for in Colombia. These women do have relationships. Most of them aren't in a relationship. Most of them might lie to you about it, depending on how well they want to cover up or keep this facade going with you, to believe like you're the only one, or make believe like you're the only one. You may have some young ladies who may push that narrative as far as they can go until she's eventually exposed. But then again, you do have some that are just honest with you. They want you to understand it's just business, it's nothing personal, and you take it how you want to from there. Husbands will drop their wives off at places. They will pimp out their own women. It sounds fucked up. I understand. Sounds really bad. And you may not think of that, of like, oh my God, that's happening in the United States. I could never think that I would never believe I would come across that in the United States. And like my man said, everything you know about the U.S., keep it in the U.S. Because the thought process, the ideologies, and the philosophies that apply to foreign countries like the DR, Colombia, Brazil, and the Philippines and Thailand are a complete different end of the spectrum. It's like oil and water. It's like night and day. You know what I'm saying? Two opposite ways of doing things. So don't be surprised. And as I conclude this video, I don't want you to be surprised if you do come across a young lady that is in a full-on relationship, that is married or is long-term dating. And the reason I don't want you to be surprised is survival is a key essential to life. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to make it work. And because of that, I respect them for doing it, and I respect them for being honest about it. Again, sometimes you got to do what you got to do when the time calls for it. And if the time calls for you to engage in communications outside of your relationship and your man's is 100% okay with it, who am I to judge, right? You know, and you would be surprised at how many girls that you meet online, or how many girls you even meet in person, are in relationships, and they just kind of hide those relationships because of the potential, how can I say this, the potential gain that they can get from that. And what I'm saying is, in this particular perspective, you as the foreigner are the only one kept in the dark. That guy, that Filipino guy, or that guy in whatever country he's in, the local guy, is very much aware of who you are. He is very much aware that you are basically supporting probably his habits as well. Very much aware that you're probably buying him his red horse at night. Very much aware that you are buying him those new pair of shoes that he wants at the mall. Very much aware that you are helping to support his lifestyle as well as hers. So he's 100% okay with whatever you do with his wife. Sounds fucked up, doesn't it? But it happens, ladies and gentlemen, and I want you to be aware of it. He's very much aware, but he's okay. Matter of fact, he might even dap you up. You know, it's nothing personal. It's just business. She's likely going to go to him at the end of the night, you know, depending on if you choose to keep her or not. And I'm not saying this to be rude in any way, shape, or form. Filipinas, Brazilian young ladies, girls, Colombianas, whatever you call yourselves, you know, don't take this personal. But if he's not, if she's not going home to the local guy, and she's staying with you, the local guy pretty much knows where she is. Don't think for one second that she's probably not texting and giving him updates. And with that being said, let me get this conclusion out. Be aware of shit like that, because you might be getting set up too. Okay, so you got to be aware of your surroundings in that particular aspect as well. That's a whole different topic for a whole different video. But in its essence, guys, you got to be careful, because women could be setting your ass up too. You know, with all that cell phone shit. Oh, he's in room 301B. You know, come knock on the door or whatever, I'll let you in. Or whenever he's in the shower, I'll let you in. We could get this guy or some shit. You know, got to be careful with that too. But I just wanted to throw that out there, that is a reality of life abroad in particular countries such as the DR, of course, Brazil and the Philippines, Thailand, and places like that. Okay, wanted to make sure you note that. Just put that in your little jot of notebooks of shit that the doc has been preaching over the last couple of years or so. And for those that have been rocking with me, big salute to you guys. I love you guys sincerely. You guys make this worth it for me. I enjoy doing what I do. You guys make YouTube fun. Again, I do what I gotta do. If you want to support the good doc, check out my podcast. That should be listed on the community tab. You know, I'm on all different platforms now. You know, the doc, Google Podcast, all of them, just about, Spotify as well. Check out my community tab. That should tell you where to find me. Also, my ebooks and everything listed in the link in the description area below. Everything you should need to know should be there. All right. It has been fun, ladies and gentlemen. It has been real. But y'all know what time it is. Time for the good doc to go ahead and let it be known that he got to get the hell up out of here. All right. So with that being said, the good doc is officially out. Alis nako paalam, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Mga kita, mabuhay. Peace.